Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another amazing video. Today we're going to be checking out the World War II Panzer tactics. A lot of you guys wanted me to react to German military stuff and whatnot and history. And I guess if you guys know at this point, maybe you don't, I'm in the military myself. I've been in the Air Force for 8 years, going on 9. And I don't know, I've been diving into all elements of the German culture as of late, and you know, you guys wanted to see me react to some of those things, like the history related stuff and more military related stuff. I used to react to German military stuff quite often, and then I had scatter bird brain and reacted to a bunch of other stuff as well. So today we're going to be revisiting that. There's a video that I found, and it's pretty interesting. It looks pretty interesting. It's called, yeah, German Panzer Tactics World War II Attack. We're going to be going through this and breaking it down and kind of just commentating on this whole thing. If you guys have, you know, links for me for anything else you want me to check out, let me know. If there's topics you want me to talk about, let me know as well. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. We post videos every single day. And all I ask is that you guys subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications. And we're going to go ahead and dive nose deep in this thing and see exactly what we are working with. Let's go, those kids.
I'm going to take a look at Panzer tactics with a focus on offensive actions. Now, I did already a video on the basics of Panzer tactics. Be sure to check it out here. Before we take a look on how an example of a Panzer attack across an open field and then a detailed attack against a bunker works, we need to take a look at the missions of the Panzers and the various supporting elements. Since one of the key strengths of a German Panzer division was it contained many different arms in one unit. Thus, besides Panzers, they also had organic infantry, artillery, anti-tank, recon, anti-aircraft and engineer units. As such, a Panzer division was capable of combined arms warfare, an aspect that is often forgotten yet very crucial, because Panzers alone would not have accomplished very much.
So, yeah, Panzer just means tank, doesn't it? The Panzer unit.
As such, infantry was still a key element in warfare. One key consideration was in which way the Panzer attack was conducted in relationship to the infantry. There are 3 possibilities for use of tanks in battle. First, break
doesn't mean tank.
in before the rifleman. Second, break in with the rifleman. Third, attack after the break-in of the rifleman.
Hold on. So break in before the rifleman. So basically lead the charge, break in with the riflemen, lead in with the and I've seen all 3 of these tactics implemented in like in battle strategies and shit like that, movies, old war clips and things of that nature, and then attack after the break-in of the riflemen. I feel like the third option is probably the most dangerous for them themselves, because I feel like it'd be easier to friendly fire, you know what I mean? So that makes a lot of sense. Oh wow, and they have it in German on the bottom too. Für den Einsatz von Panzern in der Schlacht gibt es 3 Möglichkeiten. Einbruch vor den Schützen, Einbruch mit den Schützen, Angriff nach Einbruch der Schützen. Kaufmann-Kurt, Panzerkampf, Wagenbuch. 2 verbesserte und erweiterte Auflage 1940 reprint. That's crazy.
The first 2 variants are only possible if the terrain is ideal for a Panzer attack and also the enemy did not prepare proper anti-tank defenses, like anti-tank ditches, obstacles or minefields.
Yeah.
Third option has the downsides and it limits the use of combined arms, and also the tanks have to wait. Yet since the infantry attack will stir up the enemy, the follow-up attack from the Panzers will have a stronger impact. Now let's look at the Panzers during the attack. They were usually organized in 3 groups. The first group would focus on the anti-tank guns and artillery. This would be followed by a second group that attacks the enemy machine guns and pockets of resistance. Note that both of these units would mostly ignore enemy units that were protected by terrain. Yet there was a third group as well. In combination with the infantry, it would get rid of the final resistance. Although it is important to note that the Panzers should not stick to infantry and get limited by them too much. The main goal of the tanks was not just to break in, but to break through the enemy lines.
Jesus, yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, breaking through the enemy. So it's crazy too. Back in the day, I feel like World War II had slivers, and even World War I had slivers of old military tactics and stuff. I mean, technically now that would 100% be considered old military tactics, but where people would actually charge into each other and, like, you know, and fight each other face on. We do a lot of sneak attacks these days. I think today's warfare is like scarier. It's safer, but also scarier. It might be safer and more dangerous at the same time. It's safer in the sense that you don't have to attack people head on. I mean, sometimes obviously you have to, but it's more common for people to do like, it's like hide and go seek and tag, you're it. It's like, oh, tag, you're it. And then they run away. And then the other person's like, oh, tag, you're it. And then boom, run away. It's a really weird, toxic way of warring. I mean, there is no non-toxic way of warring, to be honest. It's kind of crazy, but damn.
Let's look at the supporting arms and their missions. Let's start with the artillery, which is a very important element.
Look at these old weapons. Jesus Christ.
Cover an attack by artillery is a moving barrage that moves ahead of the attacking troops, usually called a creeping barrage.
Creeping barrage.
If a panzer attack, there's a major issue using this approach. If the barrage moves too slowly, it slows down the panzers. But if it moves too fast, it is insufficient suppressing the enemy properly. As such, the artillery was used differently. Kaufmann notes in 1940, it has been noted that the flanks of the tank attack are particularly sensitive. Shielding these flanks by bombardment of explosive and smoke ammunition is the task of the artillery and smoke troops.
That is very interesting. So I'm going to reread what he just said. It's been noted that the flanks of the tank attack are particularly sensitive. Shielding these flanks by bombardment of explosive and smoke ammunition is the task of the artillery and smoke troops. So basically, you don't have to use this, right? The artillery and smoke troops would probably be using like what they have on hand to kind of like shield the tank and stuff like that. And this might be used as kind of like a second sort of thing. You know what's crazy? There's a show I'm watching on Netflix right now, and it showed this weapon contraption thing. Is this like so it says creeping barrage, right? This doesn't shoot bombs. It shoots like bullets, right? Some type of bullet thing, or here it makes it look like it's shooting bombs, but it looks like a machine gun type thing.
Additionally, there are locations that the enemy will prepare for defense, like areas that can't be passed by tanks, forest areas, and evacuated villages.
True.
It is crucial that artillery suppresses these points. Furthermore, the enemy artillery must be suppressed to not interfere with the assembly of the tanks prior to the attack. The next branch is the infantry. It supports the tanks, especially with heavy machine guns and infantry support guns, providing additional firepower against enemy positions that are identified prior or during the attack. It also against assumed positions as well. Furthermore, sometimes the infantry also must create the foundations for an attack. To cite from a late war manual for Panzer Grenadier units, often the Panzer Grenadier unit armored must create the conditions for the use of tanks. Such tasks are fight for deployment positions and staging areas to allow for an armored attack, attacking an enemy in or behind an armor safe or anti-tank terrain, attack on mine barriers, rivers and sections, combat for villages and forests. This is closely linked to the mission of the engineers. They support the attack of the tanks in various ways. They strengthen if necessary the earth for the panzers with fascines, which are bundles of brushwood or other material. Additionally, they improve or create trails for panzers. This also includes clearing passages through friendly minefields.
Oh, wow. So the engineers basically wanted to make it easier for these tanks to go and accomplish whatever missions they had in store for themselves. So it makes sense. Strengthen ground for panzers, improve and create trails for panzers. So it's pretty much, the panzers already have a fixated path. Like you can't really like switch up too much, right? You can go forward, yeah, you can go backward and da-da-da, but it's like you have a predetermined path that you're going on, da-da-da-da-da. And then I guess the engineers are like, cool, we're going to make this path as clean and protected as humanly possible. So if that's the case, maybe the first option they said in the beginning wouldn't be smart, having the tank lead first, because there's nobody to protect the tank. Because if the tank's taking the brunt of the hits, which it's a tank, so it's going to be able to eat a lot of bullets and all the other good stuff, right? I don't know. Like, it would just be... that would be interesting. Like, I mean, I think it'd be more susceptible of getting taken out. That's like your trump card right there. Boom, right? Like you send your trump card out first. I think the second tactic, like sending the tank out with the people, would be probably the most effective, right? Because you have the people fighting at the same time and kind of protecting the tank and stuff like that. Because sending the tank afterward, I can see how it kind of would be effective because it can clear a path, the tank can go through and then kind of finish off everything else. But at the same time too, you might lose a lot of people that way. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at the actual tactic. It's already been done. Whatever the fuck happened. But It's just, this is like a, I didn't think of the breakdown like this at all. It's pretty crazy.
During the attack, the engineers are close by to remove obstacles, support the crossing of ditches, and clear passages through enemy minefields. Furthermore, they also help immobilize tanks. The next unit type is the Panzerjäger, literally tank hunter.
Oh, the Panzerjäger. So that's what this is. It looks the same. Why does that look the exact same as the other weapon? Oh, it doesn't. The barrel looks way different. That's interesting.
The anti-tank elements of the division.
That's crazy, dude.
Their job was to protect against other tanks during deployment, attack, and after the attack as well. Now, the job of the Luftwaffe and assigned air units was to provide reconnaissance on enemy troops.
Oh, I keep forgetting there was an Air Force as well. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course there was an Air Force. It makes sense.
Yet also terrain. Then also defend the assembly area against enemy recon and attacks. During the offensive, air units would attack enemy troops moving into position or strengthening the defense. Additionally, known positions and fortifications would be attacked by Stukas and other units. In that way, air units could be used as flying artillery and suppress the enemy. As noted by Oskar Munzel, a Panzer general, the mission of the attacking Panzer formations was to exploit the effect of the Luftwaffe immediately to prevent the resurgence of the resistance. If you want to learn more how Panzer units and close air support units coordinated, be sure to check out this video. And finally, the Flak units, the anti-aircraft.
So Blitzkrieg, Stuka, debunked. Well, damn, this is pretty deep, dude. We might be diving hella deep into this shit. Very, very interesting stuff. I did not ever in a million years think about considering looking into like the tactics of the military strategy of how Germany has conducted in the past their military tactics and stuff like that, especially during World War II. I mean, nobody. But I guess it's kind of interesting because, you know, all I know is that America, we won, you know, but seeing like, you know, and identifying maybe some flaws and like the strategies and stuff like that, it's like, oh, cool, kind of interesting. It's interesting looking at that kind of stuff, right? Boom.
Units. They of course would protect against enemy air attacks during the assembly and also attack. Additionally, would protect against enemy tank attacks as well. One source specifically notes that the flag...
Jesus Christ, this thing looks fucking insane. This looks like some crazy contraption, dude. This is insane. So this defends against air attacks and defends against enemy tanks. This looks like a goddamn unit, bro. This is a whole unit, dude.
Especially well against heavy tanks.
Jesus.
So since we have the basic, let's look at how an attack was performed.
Okay.
This is the situation before the attack. Here's the Hauptkampflinie, the main line of resistance, usually just called HKL. With a forest to the right side of the map, another small forested area right off the center. 2 hills in the back, one behind the swampy area, and one directly in front of the HKL. Additionally, several evacuated villages as well. Reconnaissance reported various enemy positions, 2 on the hills, 1 in the forested area, and 2 in the empty villages. Furthermore, 2 machine gun positions close to the front, a suspected anti-tank gun in the forest, and 6 pieces of artillery behind the hills.
Interesting.
The area in front of the attacking panzer formations would be hit with smoke. Additionally, both flanks would be covered with smoke and also high explosive shells as well
Jesus
to protect
Christ.
the flanks of the panzer attack. Furthermore, the hill next to the swamp, the evacuated village in the center, and
pretty crazy if you think about that. If you try to enter the forest or whatever, you just imagine like getting hit with smoke bombs and then a bunch of fucking explosions going off. That's insane.
the forested area would be attacked with artillery fire until the infantry arrives. Similar, the enemy artillery would be engaged as well until the tanks would start to engage them directly.
Jesus
So let's
Christ.
look how the panzers should engage the artillery. An attempt must be made to enclose enemy batteries and destroy them by fire and the onset of rolling force. Attacking from the front is wrong, since it's easy for the enemy gunners to keep the tank in the gun sights and shooting at them with anti-tank shells.
True. I mean, so all right, I'm gonna read this again. An attempt must be made to enclose the enemy batteries and destroy them by fire and onset of rolling force. And the onset of rolling force. So did they attack from the sides then? What the fuck? Like, did they scatter out and like how? What the heck?
As such, it is recommended to move diagonally or even laterally.
Oh, see? They did attack from the sides. They moved diagonally or laterally. Like, moving diagonally, like the enemy's like, oh god, we gotta like pick a target or split between 2 targets so the intensity is not as crazy, you know? That's an interesting tactic. What the heck?
The enemy artillery. as shown here with a degree range from around 90 to 30 degrees.
Interesting.
Furthermore, the speed and direction should be changed regularly to prevent the enemy from properly leading his aim. In principle, the enemy guns are to be overthrown and destroyed by ramming, in order to prevent them being used later by the enemy in favorable moments.
Interesting.
Now, one key practice when attacking was using the principle of fire and movement. It basically means that one part of a unit would watch and cover the other part which was advancing. The first was the Caterpillar-like movement, raupenartiges Vorgehen, and the other the leapfrog movement, sprungweises Vorgehen. The Caterpillar-like movement is slower and a more secure variant. In this
Well, that makes a lot. Oh, so the caterpillar movement might be like one tank and then another tank and then another tank and then another tank, right?
In this case, the group moving forward only moves to the level of the covering group. This is in contrast to the leapfrog movement. In this case, the moving leaps ahead of the covering group, thus moving less cautiously than the previous version.
So are they moving side by side basically in the first one, and then like one is skipping over the other?
Caterpillar movement has the advantage that it allows the unit to unify its fire of the whole unit at times. Additionally, it is easier to coordinate. Now its drawback is...
So caterpillar movement, they move the same, at the same pace. Leapfrog movement, it's like, okay, we're gonna go, and then you're gonna pass us, and then we're gonna pass you, and then you're gonna pass us. So there's like a small moment of cover fire that you guys pretty much have. That's fucking crazy.
That it's obviously slower, and it's best used in coordination with infantry and if the terrain is difficult to observe. In contrast, the leapfrog movement is quicker and also more flexible. As such, it's easier.
It's quicker and more flexible, but it's easier to get clapped the fuck up. Like, it's easier to take out the leapfrog movement than the caterpillar movement. This is a very well broken down video. Holy shit, dude.
To allow for flanking the enemy. The main drawback is it's harder to coordinate, and it is best used during reconnaissance and security operations in open terrain. And finally, we look at an attack on a pillbox with tanks. Here's the general setup. There's one large pillbox in the center, and two smaller pillboxes covering its rear and the flanks. The pillboxes have shooting slits at various positions. The large pillbox also had an armored turret in the center. Additionally, there are some enemy machine guns and positions located on the flanks as well. For 1940, it was recommended to use Panzer IIs and Panzer IVs against pillboxes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yo, those Panzer IVs look fucking crazy, dude. Oh my god. It looks like a Pokemon evolution. Like the Panzer IIs look like babies. And then like Panzer IVs, dude. Oh, look how fucking thick those things are. They look thick as hell.
Of course, in combination with infantry, engineers and artillery. To be more specific, in general, the combat group that attacks a pillbox consists of a tank platoon and a platoon of riflemen that is reinforced by a squad of engineers.
Wow.
In short, around 50 riflemen, 10 engineers and 4 Panzer IVs.
Jesus Christ.
Additionally, heavy machine guns were assigned as well. In the first phase, the machine gunners engage the enemy positions, including the turret of the pillbox.
This is crazy.
Furthermore, the artillery uses smoke shells to prevent the flanking pillboxes from engaging, and uses high explosive shells to suppress the rear of the pillbox. Of course, it also suppresses the enemy off-map artillery, something every Company of Heroes player would love to do, but I digress. Shortly before the assault begins, the artillery also engages the pillbox itself. Thus, under the cover of the fire, the Kampfgruppe consisting of panzers and infantry close in on the pillbox. The panzers move using fire and movement.
They would eliminate that pillbox in 2 seconds, dude. With the tactic that they were using, that caterpillar movement, boom. And they got the troops, and they got these artillery bullshits on the side, dude. If they focus their fire here first and then take these out, man.
There's two providing covering fire, engaging the turret, firing slits and surrounding area.
Oh yeah.
Whereas two close in on the pillbox. Once these are close enough, they go into position and provide covering fire while the first group closes in.
Holy shit.
Meanwhile, the infantry advances as well. Heavy equipment that is not needed immediately, like demolition charges, can be stored on the panzers. Once the panzers reach the barbed wire protecting the final defensive line of the pillbox, the two groups split up. One group provides covering and suppresses the pillbox and surrounding forces, whereas the second group rolls over the barbed wire defenses.
Oh shit, and gives them that work. That's fucking crazy.
To provide the infantry with easier access. Additionally, engineers follow now as well and support the infantry in taking out the pillboxes.
Oh dang, dude, this is crazy. This is crazy. Who came up with this?
Of course, the Panzers provide cover support, here by firing at the firing slits and entry doors. So if you ever run into a pillbox blocking your way to work or school, you know what to do.
I mean, I guess so. Sheesh. That's a crazy strategy. You could probably use this for like other tactics and stuff like that too. That's fucking crazy.
Summarize. Although many people seem to be in awe of the German Panzers and technology, in general, the key of success for the German Panzer forces was combined arms warfare. Something I discussed.
Yeah, combined arms warfare makes a lot of sense. I mean, you can't just win with the Panzer unit itself, right?
Also in my video on why the Wehrmacht was so combat effective. A Panzer combines firepower, mobility, and armor protection, yet lacks visibility, indirect fire capabilities. Additionally, it is expensive, rather unreliable, and easy to hear and spot. As such, often needs to be supported not only during the battle, but also during the assembly and other phases, which are usually rarely discussed, yet absolutely crucial for the success of an attack.
Jesus Christ.
I hope you learned something new.
I definitely did. Oh my damn God. That was crazy. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. That was pretty insane. Totally worth it. It's very interesting looking at breakdowns of military strategies and history and stuff like that, especially when it comes to Germany and stuff. It's pretty interesting because I mean, I guess fully understanding the big picture, right, paints a more clear image of what happened back then, right? What happened, and and even looking at current military videos now and seeing like what new strategies are and blah blah blah. I don't know, I find it interesting, very fascinating. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. If there's any other pieces of information or videos you want me to check out, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always looking for new suggestions. But it's been an honor and a privilege checking this out, guys. I will talk to you later. Take care and drink some water. Peace.
Well, what a pleasure it is to see all of your beautiful faces at the end of this lovely video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure you know, as I've mentioned in the past, we do have a Discord that's linked in the description down below, and we would love to have you a part of the world's greatest community ever, Bray Gang. Yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're officially a part of the community. So go ahead, join the Discord server. Link is in the description down below. And we also have other social media as well, like Instagram, Twitter. We're live. We go live on Twitch quite often as well. So it would behoove you to, go ahead and subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Join the cause and be a part of the greatest, literally the greatest community ever. Okay, it's simple. Just go ahead and do those little things. We're trying to grow on all these little platforms and everything, and it really means a lot. Now, I know you guys stumbled up across the channel and you're like, what does this guy post? Like, what kind of content does he post? Reactions, vlogs, pretty much whatever comes to my mind. All right, it's random content. I don't know what I'm gonna be posting 10 years from now, but I do know that you can stick along for the journey, and it really means a lot. Now, for every single person that subscribes and follows all of the accounts that I have made, and all the links will be in the description down below, that's an automatic entry for any future giveaways I decide to have. I'll remind you when the giveaways take place, but you'll be surprised what I will be giving away because you guys have supported me so much up to this point, and it's only right that I do the same thing back. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.